Hey guys, it's Danny. Today we're doing some shopping. I realized that there is a nursery who ships to Cyprus that many of you guys told me about and I've never ordered from, and this is Secret Garden in Romania, my home country. Now, as it just so happens, this nursery appeared pretty much right after I left Romania, or somewhere in that time. I never got to visit it. How about that? The one and only flower shop slash nursery that actually has variety, and I have to leave the country. Anyway, today I decided to actually place an order and take you guys along just to show you a little bit what they have on their website and what I put in my cart. And later on, we will unbox them and see how everything arrived. So before we start, don't forget to give this video a like if you end up enjoying it, and why not subscribe? I post multiple times a week and it's free, just don't forget to turn on notifications. But if you're feeling extra about it, do consider further supporting the channel by becoming a member, checking out the merch, using the affiliate links down below, or using the super thanks option down below. Alrighty, so the reason why I didn't purchase anything from them up until now is because, one, the transport is a little bit expensive to Cyprus, but then again, everything is expensive to come to Cyprus. It is what it is. I gotta just deal with it and move on. But the problem is, if I'm gonna pay 50 euros for transport, it better be worth it. And I didn't really find a whole lot of orchids that I wanted to buy. Until now, when I saw on their website the most beautiful orchid of life, something I never expected to see, and this is a yellow Nelly Isler. Yes, you heard me right, a golden yellow Nelly Isler. So I thought, well, maybe it's time to place an order. So I did order quite a few things that I found interesting, but indeed the variety of orchids is not really as big as other nurseries yet. They do have quite a few beautiful orchids, but not as much as others. But there is time. This is a new nursery, so they have all the time in the world to expand and bring more orchids. In any case, this is how my cart looks like. As you can see, got myself a whole bunch of things, including the Hawaiian Splash Leia, which I have a little tiny version of, and it's one of those meaningful orchids, so I really wanted to have another one. Turns out I have 3 of them now, but that's a different story. I also purchased a lovely jewel orchid and a cattleya. So the shopping experience was as you would expect. No issues there, paid for my order, and now we'll pick things up when the order actually arrives. And here we are. The package arrived about a week later, which is a decent time, let's say. As I opened the package, I found this. Oh, I cannot even reach my camera. So we have here some instructions, both in Romanian and English, on how to proceed with our orchid package. Alrighty, look at that, you guys. Pretty nice packaging. So tell you what, I'm just gonna put the box on the floor and I'll take them one by one because I want to sit. I'm an old lady, okay? Now, before we start, one of the orchids that I ordered will not be in here. Sadly, they told me that it wasn't looking all that great. They would rather just replace it with something else. So I chose another orchid. And about the packaging, it is very well packed. And I'm guessing that this insulating material is only used in winter. In summertime, they might actually be using the normal paper packaging. But I do appreciate the caution of using insulating material. And here is our first orchid, slightly damp, I'll have to say. I see some discoloration here, but I don't see any mold. One of the biggest issues, not only in winter, all season, is packing orchids wet. I've had so many orchids arriving full of molds, fungus, but that's not the worrying part. The worrying part is that they already had soft rot. And that happens when you pack them wet, because during transport, and especially on long transports, which for you this would be a long transport, right? Well, for me it's decent. But in a week, bacteria and pathogens will accumulate and they will have the perfect breeding ground if it's moist to attack the orchid. So, number 1 rule, always ship orchids dry. Oh, this ain't dry. Alrighty. Alright, this is the Brasso Cattleya Araguayensis crossed with Cucullata, that beautiful purplish Brassivola. And it looks really, really nice. We have some new roots. The foliage looks very, very nice. I'm really happy with it. And it's not a tiny division. So yeah, really this looks really, really great. And it's not all that wet. It's fairly moist, but we were lucky with this one. Alrighty, this is a Phalaenopsis Mickey Moon rabbit. Here she... Okay, so here's one thing that happens sometimes with some Phalaenopsis orchids. When you ship them, you usually do this business. So they become a little bit more space effective. Problem is, if it's not a summer bloomer, it will not really fold all that great because the normal, typical, let's say flower shop Phalaenopsis hybrids have very thick leaves. And once you do that, if you're not careful and you squeeze it too much, the leaves will snap, which is exactly what happened to this one. This is a freshly snapped leaf. Now, could it be that the package was pressed by another package during transport? It could be. It doesn't look that way, but I don't know. It's very fluffy. It could be. The thing is, it got a little squished. Now, should you pack it like this? No, that's even worse. This is still the best packaging. You just have to be a little careful not to squeeze it too much. But the downside is you can actually crack the leaves. Just try to be careful if you ever want to pack Phalaenopsis. This is the best way to pack them, but just don't squeeze them too much and don't force them to fold in ways that it doesn't want to fold. It's not that flexible. All right, here's a little update to this orchid. This is a few days later after the weekend. In the weekend, we weren't really home all that much. Today is Monday morning when I'm editing this, and look what I found. That leaf, yeah, not doing well. So this is not a case of crown rot necessarily. The stem is not affected. I do believe the orchid discarded the leaf itself. Do you see how clean of a cut, quote unquote, this is? It's from the abscission line. So I don't believe that I will necessarily have crown rot going down the stem here. This one looks to be okay. I'm gonna cut this out as well. But what I will do here now is put a generous amount of cinnamon here just to dry out this tissue right here, but other than that, nothing else. And I'm hoping the orchid will produce a cakey or something. I don't know if the crown will dry and create a lid pretty much on the orchid. So yeah, that's what I need to do. Cut this, put cinnamon on the cut one here, and then put cinnamon here, and yeah, hopefully it's gonna be okay, and keep this orchid dry. So there you go, you guys. Before you pack orchids, make sure you don't snap the leaves. In a normal grow room, this might not happen, but in the box without proper air ventilation and excessive moisture, this can happen. So this is just the top leaf being affected. It's not crown rot, which is good news for me, but this could easily be avoided. Okay, so here's the Cattleya Hawaiian Splash Leia. It looks nice, except for the new growth, and I will give you a bit of a close-up. Alright, so here we have a new growth and some fuzzies on it. That's a little bit of mold, but it's not a very bad mold. The worst thing you can do right now is spray it with hydrogen peroxide. Let's not add any more water to this orchid because it's already kind of damp. This is why this happened in the first place. This is a dried sheath. If this orchid would only have green leaves, this mold wouldn't have happened. But this is a type of, I would call it advantageous mold that only attacks dried stuff. So it's not really putting the life of the orchid in danger in any way. However, if we take a look at this leaf, this is soft rot. And this needs removing. I would completely remove this leaf because it's very old, cut it from here and call it a day. But regarding the new growth, do not do anything, do not put water in it, don't spray it with any concoction you might think will help because you might get water inside it and that will rot it completely. So the only thing I would do is remove this leaf. The mold will actually go away on its own once the conditions are not right anymore, and if you keep this orchid ventilated, the mold will just disappear. It will die off on its own. Yeah, funny thing about the Hawaiian Splash Leia. So you know I have the tiny one. The wonderful Maya sent me another one from Secret Garden as a gift. But that was before I placed the order. So now I have a grand total of 3 Hawaiian Splash Leias. What I will do is make a fake specimen out of these 2. And the tiny one, I'll keep it and I'll grow it. And at some point, definitely I'll donate it. We'll see. But yeah, I have a lot of Hawaiian Splash Leias now. And this one is the replacement of the orchid that did not look so good. This is Brasso Cattleya Taiwan Mermaid. It is a beautiful purpley Cattleya, which reminds me a little bit of a Cattleya that I used to have and I lost. and I'm missing the name. It's a very popular hybrid, but it's one of those older hybrids, which is not very available anymore. Oh, Maikai, Brassavola, Brassocattleya, Maikai. But I lost that one, and this one looks very similar. And you might have guessed which orchid this replaced. I'm curious if they sent it anyway, because I told them, listen, if it looks that bad, I'll still purchase it. Give me a discount on it. And they didn't reply, so I'm not entirely sure what exactly I received here. This is one of the big ones. Could it be the Nelly Isler? Oh, I hope she handled transport okay. Oh, it's so beautiful, I could cry. Oh my goodness. Well, the plant's a little discolored, but I think it looks okay. Oh my goodness, I'm making a mess, but I do not care. My goodness, why are you so yellow? How? It has, listen. The first time I saw pictures of this Nelly Isler, I thought they were provoking this discoloration of the flower because on the edges I can still see the red. But now looking at it, I don't think so. I think it might actually be natural. And it's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, and I'm really happy I received it with flowers. Because you know me and Nelly Islers, sometimes, or most of the times, I lose them. I still have the one from the Netherlands, it's doing okay. I'm keeping it on a bed of sphagnum moss, just to take a look at those roots, and it's very moist, so she's doing okay. And she's gonna open the flowers. Remember it came with a small flower spike? Yeah, it's developing, amazing. So I'm gonna do some stuff this summer for these cooler growing orchids. What I will do is buy a water cooler. That sounded weird. An evaporative cooler. I have seen them last year in the shops here, and I thought, well, that might actually do the trick. See, the thing is with my climate, it's not that it gets extremely hot during the day only. That's a problem, but I can manage it with the AC, and I don't have 40 degrees in the grow room. I have a maximum of 28. The problem is the night, because in the nighttime it does not get cool here. It's still in the 30s, 30 degrees Celsius, not Fahrenheit. And it doesn't wanna, just does not wanna go down. Sometimes there's not even a little bit of wind, and if there's wind, it's hot wind. And this lasts, oh boy, it lasts. It lasts until October. Why not? November sometimes, depends on the year, and that's what gets them, the nights. Now, I cannot run the AC all the time. I really cannot. And the way the electricity bills went up the roof recently, it's impossible. But if I get a cooler, a small cooler that I can only keep on them in the nighttime, maybe I can pull it off. And it's not that much, it's about 100 euros. I have reverse osmosis water, I can use that. So this thing will literally cool down the air. It's not enough to have a humidifier. It's not enough to have high humidity. It's not enough to put them in a high humidity chamber. You need to cool them down somehow. And cooling down is not as easy. But I'm willing to try with those coolers. Okay, this orchid looks okay, you guys. Of course it has snails, because all Nelly Islers do. But it does not look bad. The pseudobulbs are plump. It smells just like a normal Nelly Isler, and it's yellow. I mean, it's the most gorgeous thing I have ever seen. Please don't die. Just please don't do it. All right, we have one more here. Do I even remember what I ordered? Oh, okay. It's the jewel orchid. So they did not send the Siamese doll kiwi, did they? No, it's okay. Gosh, the mess that I will have to clean. Okay, you know, I'm gonna unpack this off camera. So this is the beautiful Ludicia discolor that only has one middle vein. Wow, she really is beautiful, you guys. Could use with a little bit of a shower, but she looks really, really great. I'm really getting into jewel orchids recently. We're gonna make a jewel orchid video very soon. If we didn't already, not sure when I'm gonna post this. And I'll show you my current collection. It's really pretty, and I have some plans for it actually. For now, I need to pot them, so maybe we're gonna do a massive repotting session once again and talk a little bit more about the jewel orchids, but there we go. A little update on those too. I noticed that two of the stems were starting to really dehydrate, and then I kind of dug around a little bit. And what I noticed is that this orchid is actually 3 cuttings put together in one pot. This one is a little bit more rooted, although you can see so and so. But whenever you have a jewel orchid stem that is getting dehydrated, you can do two things. I prefer one, but you can stick it into the soil and keep the soil moist, or if you want to speed up things, you can put it directly in water. This being a stem, it will start to absorb that water even if it does not have roots. So if you have something extremely dehydrated, put it in water. Make sure that it has a open cut here so it's not calloused over. Put it in water and it should perk right up. So I'm rooting these two cuttings in water, and then I will repot everything into a new pot. So yeah, that's what happened to the jewel orchid. With this said, this is my order. It's a pretty standard orchid order. Everything arrives pretty okay. I'm not sure who the provider of the orchids is, but they do look like typical nursery orchids. Was it worth it? Absolutely. For one single orchid, this one, it's just as beautiful as I imagined, even more. It's a ray of sunshine, really is. And I love it very, very much. Only problem, and the reason why I didn't really order from them, is because of the price and because I didn't really know how the orchids will arrive. Even though, as I was saying, the transport costs just as much as it cost me to order from Orchids Deluxe. But with them I have history. With these guys, it's the first time I order, and I will definitely order again because sometimes they do have really, really nice orchids. And there are some that I really cannot find anywhere else. So I'll link you to them down below if you want to order. Of course, they only ship to the European Union like all nurseries. Pretty much all nurseries ship within their economic region. So if you're in the US, you cannot order, but then again, I cannot order from the US either. It's just not worth paying for the phytosanitary certificates because these are cheap orchids or cheap plants in comparison to other very expensive plants. So the phytos would cost more than them. So that's why nurseries do not ship worldwide. It's just not worth it. The cost will be too much and you would not want to pay it, trust me. So yeah, if you're in the European Union, check them down below. And with that said, that is about it. I'll go ahead and clean my room. That's what I want to do at 6:30 in the morning. Clean the grow room. How nice. Anyway, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of my uploads. And I hope you'll have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.